Good morning. Thanks for checking in with us here at Atlanta News First Plus on your Saturday morning. Looking at Midtown right now, where it is sunny and we are getting ready for some very hot temperatures today. Great to have you with us. As we kick off the weekend, I'm Megan Packer, and we'll check in with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi coming up here in just a moment. She'll track your forecast and let you know just how hot it will get on this last day of summer. Tomorrow's the first day of fall. Do you believe it? It's just about here. But I do want to get you updated on what we are tracking this morning with your news. We are on top of some breaking news right now in the city of South Fulton. This is video from our crew on the scene where police have a shopping center blocked off. This is on Old National Highway at Jonesboro Road, again in the city of South Fulton, where we are told by police on this scene that they have found what they were referring as hoax devices. They have found two of them. It started early this morning when somebody reported to police that they saw somebody throw something in this area. And police found, again, what they are describing as a hoax device that looks like a bomb, but they do believe it is a hoax. And while they were investigating that first one, they came across a second device. Again, at this time, police are telling us they believe that these are hoax devices. But of course, as you would imagine, with something like this, they are taking no chances. They have this shopping center totally blocked off. Cobb County police are out there. South Fulton police are out there. The ATF is out there. We see the canines in this video from this scene. So we will keep you updated. Very active scene as we speak, as our crew looks into the very latest with what's happening out there. And so we will keep you updated right here on our streaming channels. And also go ahead and download our Atlanta News First app. We'll be sure to update that as new information comes in as well. Also making headlines this morning, some changes coming this election season. Local election officials are scrambling to rearrange their plans for election night. It comes after the state election board just voted to have all of the ballots counted by hand that night. Election supervisors say the hand count won't impact voters when they cast their ballot, but some election supervisors do say they will have to add a lot of training, hire new workers, and this could mean delayed election results. We've reached out to several elections supervisors from different metro Atlanta counties. They say they're just trying to figure out how to make this new rule work. And the state election board members who voted for the rule say this is to make sure that all votes are counted accurately and elections are conducted correctly. Something pretty interesting happening right now in Atlanta at State Farm Arena. People are packing 1 million meals. What a neat effort here. This is all to combat food insecurity. The Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena are hosting this event, and there are volunteers out there, including from Atlanta News First, packing up meals that will be distributed to several organizations. This is the Hawks and State Farm Arena's fourth time doing this. So by later this afternoon, they say they will have 1 million meals packed up, ready to go on trucks and go out to different organizations that will help people who need it. We are told 1 in 9 people in Georgia is living with food insecurity. That includes 1 in 8 children. So certainly a worthy cause. In Cobb County, there are 10 people who were without a home right now after a house fire. You can see we were on the scene last night after the fire tore through this home in Austell. Investigators say the fire started around back of the house. Still no word on what caused it or if anybody was hurt. But again, we know at least 10 people displaced by this. And to the latest now with the Appalachia school shooting, we can tell you that the 4th victim has been laid to rest. A funeral was held yesterday for student Christian Angelo. The 14-year-old was remembered by friends and family at St. Matthew Catholic Church in Winder. He, another teen, and 2 educators were killed earlier this month inside of Appalachia High School during the school shooting in Barrow County. The school has been closed ever since, but Monday they will open up and host an open house for students and teachers, and classes will resume on Tuesday. And, this is really striking a chord with students all over Georgia. There have been walkouts, including here in Gwinnett County yesterday, where students walked out of class and they walked to a park in Lilburn. They held up a bunch of different signs with different messages that read things like protect kids, not guns, and schools shouldn't be slaughterhouses. Similar walkouts happened at Wheeler High School in Marietta and Maynard Jackson High School in Atlanta. So as students at Appalachia prepare to go back to school this week, we will be covering that every step of the way, and we'll bring you continuing coverage of that. So keep it right here all day long. Lots happening on this weekend morning. So again, download our Atlanta News First app as well. It's a free download. We will update these stories as they develop, including this breaking situation in South Fulton with these hoax devices that have been found. But another big talker this weekend is the weather, because it is going to get so hot out there. It will feel like the middle of summer. So as we look at Midtown right now, it looks really nice and it feels nice at this point. But I'll bring in First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, who is tracking quite the warm up today. Courtney, it's a pool day.
Oh my goodness, yes. You might as well. You can't change the weather. It's going to be hot out there, so you might as well just embrace it and get in the last bit of summer activity. This is summer just giving us a little gift of another pool weekend. A lot of the pools still open, so you might as well go out to them. Lots going on this weekend, though, between the North Georgia State Fair. We have the Atlanta Greek Festivals this weekend, among just a handful of events, per usual. It is a Saturday in Metro Atlanta. Always lots going on, especially this time of year. It is going to be a hot one, though, so if you do have plans to get out at all, you want to keep in mind you're going to need to drink plenty of water, wear the light, loose clothing. As much as you probably want to wear all your cute fall outfits, this is not the weekend to do so. So our last 90-degree day is normally on September 9th. The latest we've ever had 90 is October 9th. Last year, September 12th. Of course, today is September 21st, so we're beyond when we normally see our last 90-degree day, and we're beating last year. So the heat sticking around a little longer this year, but it does look like this will more than likely be our last 90-degree stretch of days. I do say stretch because we have a handful on the way this week. Look at our average high temperatures. They'll go down near 80 within a couple of weeks, and within a month, our high temperature will drop into the mid-70s, our average high temperature. And I do think our forecast will start to trend cooler. I don't see 90 degrees heading into October, but we'll still keep an eye on it. Just know that the cooler temperatures, the cooler average highs, they are on the way, and naturally our forecast will start to follow suit. So here's a look at our high temperatures today. Very summer-like. Our average high 83. We're going to be about 10 degrees above that today. Upper 80s to low 90s. So if you were planning on heading up to places like Ellijay, where, of course, all of the apple orchards are open for business, it's going to be a hot one out there. And if you're headed to any events across Metro, just plan for a pretty steamy afternoon. If you're headed to the North Georgia State Fair tonight, it will be warm, but it might be better to go the second half of the day because it is going to cool off at least slightly. We'll be in the mid-80s by 7, and then we'll still stay in the 80s by 9, and even at 11 o'clock, we'll be in the upper 70s. So a warm evening, but at least it's not the heat of the day, scorching hot in the low 90s with a lot of sunshine beating down on you. Tomorrow, our chance for rain will be about 10%. So as we go through the weekend, we won't get by completely dry. I do think we could have a stray passing shower or storm tomorrow, and that's just because we'll have enough moisture in the air to generate that. So unfortunately, a little on the humid side tomorrow. Not summertime sticky, but at least a little, just enough moisture to generate maybe a shower. By and large, the story is going to be the heat tomorrow. We'll have near record heat to kick off fall. 93 degrees for a high, the record 95 set back in 1940. So I don't think we're necessarily going to beat that, but it is going to be very hot tomorrow. And today, so I have us at 92 today. We hit 92 yesterday. If we hit 93 today, more than likely I'm going to bump that temperature up tomorrow too. So stay tuned to the forecast because there's a ridge of high pressure sitting over us, and it is at its strongest and parked directly over us today and tomorrow. Then it starts to weaken Monday, so our temperatures will gradually start to drop through the week, but we'll stay in the 90s through at least Wednesday. Thursday, we have a couple of things to factor in. We'll have a cold front moving closer to the area, an increase in cloud cover, maybe a few showers, some models wetter than the other, but nonetheless, that'll drop our temperatures into the mid-80s. Something else that could, emphasis on could, bring us rain potentially next weekend, a tropical system, something we're going to be watching very carefully. Clearly, the tropics very active. We have 3 areas of interest in the central Atlantic. Doesn't look like any of those are going to bother us. What we're focused on is this, a disturbance that is currently developing in the Caribbean Sea. It is expected to move into the Gulf by Monday or Tuesday and very quickly develop and strengthen in the Gulf by midweek. Right now, only a 60% chance of development. I do anticipate that number to go up. Now, because this hasn't even really organized yet, models don't know where to start, let alone where this is going to end up and finish. So a lot of uncertainty in the models. Here's a look at Friday. This is the GFS model. It hints that a cold front is going to move in quicker, and that will push the storm to the south, which would leave us mostly dry, very similar to Debbie that made landfall along the Big Bend and then went up to Savannah. That would be a similar scenario if this played out, keeping us on that dry side. And not that we want rain from a tropical system, but We need rain, which the cold front would offer us some showers. So that would be good. We need something. Anything's better than nothing. But Friday, we could have a storm moving inland along the Big Bend of Florida with a front pushing it south of us, keeping us dry. This is just one scenario. Now, the European model develops this system a little slower, making this storm move into the Gulf more so late week rather than midweek. That cold front's already off the coast, so it's just kind of open season across the southeast for the storm to move in. So this is another scenario. This would more so be for us here in Metro, a Sunday, Monday impact. A lot of question marks still left up in the air. So kind of take both of these scenarios with a grain of salt here, because I'll tell you, just from when I came in around 4 this morning until about 7, 8 o'clock, the model's completely changed. So a lot of changes will be in the forecast this week, but it's definitely a forecast to pay attention to. Here's what we know right now. A storm is going to form in the Gulf midweek. Timing, strength, track, all uncertain right now. We don't know what this is essentially going to strengthen into. We don't know the timing. It could be more Friday, Saturday event. It could be a Sunday, Monday event. The track also very uncertain, which would ultimately dictate our impacts here at home. So you're just going to want to stay tuned to the forecast this week. That we know for sure, because some impact will be likely across the southeast, but how much of the southeast, how much of North Georgia, that is definitely still a huge question mark. So here's like your 7-day forecast. No first solar weather days as of right now. Low 90s today and tomorrow. Maybe a quick passing shower or storm tomorrow afternoon. We'll stay in the 90s all the way through Wednesday. We'll increase rain chances late week thanks to a cold front and potentially a tropical system. 2 things we'll be watching very carefully for you as we head into the end of this upcoming week. Just a lot to pay attention to. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be quiet. It's going to be hot, but we definitely have a lot to fill you in on as we go through the week, this upcoming week, as again, we'll be watching a tropical system developing in the Gulf of Mexico. All right, everyone, thanks so much for spending time with us to get your news and weather. Of course, we're on top of that breaking news that we'll continue to update you on in the Atlanta News First app. You can get the latest forecast on the First Alert Weather app. I hope you make it a wonderful day and stay cool.